Welcome to The Proof, the program powered by the continent's leading fact-checking organization, Africa Check. I'm your host, Darshan Usman. Today, we turn our focus to the United States, where President Donald Trump, in his second term, has signed executive orders tightening immigration policies. Now, one claim circulating on social media suggests that about 3,690 Nigerians are facing deportation from the U.S., but is this true? Stay with me as we break down this claim. Africa Check's Precious Ewuji joins me to investigate this claim. It's good to see you, Precious.
Hi, Dashin. Thanks for having me.
Now, Precious, let's start with some background on this claim. What do we know?
Yes, of course. As we all know, Donald Trump first served as the President of the United States from 2017 to 2021. Now, after being re-elected for his second term in his office, Trump started his administration by signing several executive orders affecting, among others, immigration, climate change, and foreign aid. During the second inaugural speech, Trump declared a state of emergency at the country's southern border with Mexico. He said that his administration will begin the returning of millions and millions of criminal aliens back to where they came. It is in this context that several Facebook posts have sprung up, claiming that 3,690 Nigerians will be deported from the US.
Before we jump to the meat of this claim, can you briefly explain what an executive order is?
An executive order is a directive issued by the President of the United States that manages the operation of the federal government. Now, these orders have the force of law and are typically used to implement policies or to direct the officials of the states.
So let's jump to the big question. Is it true that 3,690 Nigerians are set to be deported from the US?
Yes, it is correct that 3,690 Nigerians are to be deported from the US. Nigerian news agencies such as Punch, Tribune, and Guardian have also reported that 3,690 Nigerians are facing deportation from the US.
Tell me, how did Africa Check conclude that this claim is true?
We were able to certify this claim as true due to a document obtained from the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, which noted that 3,690 Nigerians are to be deported from the US. Now, this means that they've exhausted all their legal ground as people staying in the US and are on the verge of removal.
Thank you, Precious. Now let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll look at what this means for legal and undocumented immigrants already living in the US. Stay with us.
Seeing is believing. But in the age of fake news and false information, we need to be more and more careful about trusting our eyes. Sometimes the fakery isn't in the images themselves, but how they are used. The photo is real, but it doesn't match the story. Here's a few quick steps to verifying videos or images. Step 1. Do a reverse image search. Did you know that you can search Google using pictures instead of words? This can help you identify more information about an image, like where it's been shared before. Step 2. Look for visual clues. Look out for a distinct building or mountain range, a language from a visible billboard or shop sign, or schools, hospitals, statues, towers, vehicles, and registration. Step 3. Map it out. You can use mapping tools to look for unique features to find a photo or video's exact location. Wikimapia is a community mapping project that collects information about places on the globe. And lastly, another thing to watch out for is that the screen grabs of websites can be easily manipulated.
Welcome back. This is The Proof, powered by Africa Check. Now today, we're looking at a claim that sprung up in the wake of President Donald Trump's return to the White House. Now, Trump has signed more than 60 executive orders since his return, and the most in a president's first 100 days in more than 40 years. Now, the claim circulating on social media suggests that 3,690 Nigerians are facing deportation from the US. Precious Ewuji of Africa Check has confirmed that the claim is in fact true. Now, Precious, what do we know about the Nigerians who may be deported?
The Nigerian media outlets have reported that 201 Nigerians were already in the U.S. immigration camps, while 85 of them were cleared for deportation as of February 17. In a meeting, Bianca Odumegwu Ojukwu, the Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, told Richard Mills, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, to give the returnees a dignified return to Nigeria.
Now, away from Nigerians and to all affected people, one of Trump's executive orders declared a state of emergency at the southern border. What does this mean for legal and undocumented immigrants already living in the U.S.?
It means heightened enforcement, including raids, stricter visa policies, and deportation for those who are already on the verge of final removal. If you've been using social media or if you have been active on social media, you would have seen clips of those who are already deported from the US going back to their own countries.
Thank you, Precious. Now, what should users do when they come across claims like this?
One of the things users want to do is to approach the claim with a critical mindset. You want to check if credible media outlets have reported on the claim. You also want to cross-reference. Check if multiple media outlets have talked about this, or even if people are already talking about it. Also, you want to be wary of sensationalism or emotional languages used as tactics to lure people into believing false information. Another thing you want to do is to check the date of when the information was published. It could be an old date or something that is misleading to the public. Then lastly, you want to also refrain from sharing unverified information to decrease the spread of misinformation.
Precious, thank you for your insights and also for joining us on The Proof today.
It's my pleasure, Dashen. Thank you again for having me.
And that's it for this episode of The Proof, powered by Africa Check. If you have comments or a claim you want us to fact check, tweet at AfricaCheck_NG. Follow News Central on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. And you can check out our website. It's www.newscentral.africa. Stay vigilant and stay informed. I'm Darshan Usman.